Hello everyone, it's Becky here and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video. So I'm very excited about today's video because I would like to do something I never done before, and the first part would be to do my book haul and show you the books which I purchased very recently, and then I would like to do a bookish unhaul, which is something I never done before, especially, well, at least on the camera, because obviously I did put some books to charity shop previously, but I thought I would just show you which books I'm planning to do and why. And then I was thinking of taking you with me to the free little library where I would like to put these books, and we'll see if we can find there something as well, so that could be like another part of the book haul, hopefully. So we'll see. So without further ado, I would love to show you some books which I purchased recently, and I did show you these books at my Instagram. So if you've seen this part, just feel free to skip to another part if you are not curious about this anymore, but if you would like to see it, feel free to stay. So the first book I purchased in November is called The Anthology of Scottish Folktales, with absolutely stunning cover. And this is a book which I got on my trip to Scottish Highlands this month, and I will link the video down below where you can see some of the pictures and footage I took. And I never read anything like this before, like I don't really know much, like I know some sort of folk tales from Scotland, but this book is very interesting because here at the beginning is this map, which is like content, and basically it shows you where from are those stories coming from, like from which part of the Scotland, if that makes sense. And then it's very lovely because I don't know if I can very quickly find something, but oh, here you have some sort of like little illustrations like this as well, and I just very much loved it. And I bought this in one, well, tourist center. I was hoping it would be some small corner shop, but no. But anyway, I'm very excited. So this is the first book I purchased, and then we are moving to a non-fiction part of the bookish haul, because originally I was planning to buy just one book, and that was this one. Yes, Alan Rickman, Madly Deeply. I wanted to buy only this book, but then I went to the bookshop and I realized that most of the books were half price because of Black Friday, so I'm like, well, I guess I have to buy more books then. And I'm sure you heard already about this book talking quite a lot of people. These are the diaries of Alan Rickman from his life and from his experiences on movie sets and everything. And I love Alan Rickman, not only for being a Snape, but also Sense and Sensibility. And I mean, yes, Mr. Darcy is amazing, but then Alan Rickman in the uniform, you know, yes. So I'm very excited about this. It also has a pre-word written by Emma Watson, so I'm very excited about this. So this was the first book, and then as I was in the bookstore, as I mentioned, there were some other books which were half price, and I decided to just, well, I just have to buy them. The first one being a memoir by Matthew Perry, Friends, Lovers and the Big Terrible Thing. And this is a book which I wanted to read, and I was planning to get just ebook because I'm like, well, just maybe ebook will be fine. Well, no, then I found it for half price, so I got this one. And I love Matthew Perry, one of course being Friends, but then another one, I don't know if you've seen this, maybe there is a tip for comedy movie for you. He is also in two movies called, in English it has strange title, it's called The Whole 9 Yards. In Slovak it translated something like My Neighbor is a Killer, which is more appropriate, I would say. And it's a comedy where he plays a dentist and his neighbor is a killer, basically played by Bruce Willis. So they met again after filming Friends, and I love those two movies. They're like first part and then the sequel, and they're just really funny if you're looking for something to, you know, like de-stress and have some fun, and if you love Matthew Perry especially, or Bruce Willis because he was hilarious there. I would highly recommend you to give it a go. So I do love this person very much, and obviously in this memoir I don't even really know that much what is it about, except these two things, well, these few things. So I believe it will be his experiences on the film set and with friends and his career, and also struggling with some addiction. So I'm very much curious to read this. And then the last book which I bought is this one. Speaking about Scotland, you know, and my love for Scotland especially. So on one hand, I was not planning to buy this book because I saw it in Waterstones and I'm like, I'm not really sure. But then they did not have Alan Rickman's book in Waterstones, so because it was sold out. So I went to another bookshop and then I found there this book as well, and I'm like, you know what, once I'm already here, I might just buy it. So obviously I love this guy quite a lot. One, obviously Outlander, yes. But then again, another tip for you for watching something. Last year, I believe it was last year, he and Graham McTavish, who is another guy from Outlander, they did this road trip called The Men in Kilts, and it's sort of like documentary factual road trip style TV show, and they are traveling through Scotland and exploring different places, and I love it so much. So on one hand I was like, well, I love you, but I think you're quite young to having your own memoir, if that makes sense. But then I also read on the back of the book that he should be traveling through Scotland and also speaking quite a bit about how the country and the place he's coming from affected him, and I'm like, well, when it's about Scotland, you know, not the guy, just the Scotland, then I was like, okay, I'll just buy it. So this is another book. So my 4 lovely books, 3 of which are memoirs, because I love memoirs. Honestly, like memoirs, autobiographies and biographies are definitely my favorite non-fiction genre, and I would say that they are quite high in the rank of genres in general. So there we go. I'm very excited. Right, and now moving to my unhauling part. Is this how you call it? Like, well, bookish unhaul. So I do have 4 books as well, because I purchased 4 books, so I thought that I might just, you know, give 4 books back. The first one being this one, let me find this, Jane Eyre. And the reason why I am basically giving this book away, I love Jane Eyre, don't get me wrong, I love Jane Eyre, but I originally purchased this book in one secondhand bookstore because it was for our book club, physical one, because they were planning to read Jane Eyre, and I did not have my Jane Eyre book in Scotland. I have one copy from my grandmother, and I love that one very much, and it's in Slovak, and I think that if I will ever want to read Jane Eyre again, which I'm sure I will, but I think I will much prefer to read it in Slovak, because I just for some reason really enjoyed the translation much more than the original one. Also for the reason being that I think the translation was very good. It was done in 60s, so on one hand obviously you're translating from different type of English, so that's caught there as well, but also with some words in Slovak we don't use anymore either. So I really like that one. So I think that in future, if I will want to read Jane Eyre, I will reach out for that copy I have back home. So I just decided that it will be maybe lovely for someone to find Jane Eyre in little free library. So this is the first book. The second one is this one called How to Stop Time by Haig, and this is a book which again I got in Oxfam, I believe, at the beginning of the year, and I read it and it was fine. Like, I think I gave it 3 stars, but I don't think it's a book I would read like ever again, really, because it was not that special for me. It's about time traveling and it's about the relationship of a man who is searching for his daughter, and it's a very interesting concept, but I would say that I think that it had much more potential than as it was executed in the book, but I still think it will be lovely for someone. So this is the book number 2 to put in the library. And then third one, Nikki, if you are watching, this one is going there as well. This is a book, Single Thread by Tracy Chevalier, which I did as a buddy read with Nikki from Red Dot Reads. If you don't know the channel, go and follow her because she's amazing. And it's a historical fiction. I love historical fiction. I did read couple books by Tracy Chevalier previously, but this one was a little bit disappointing for me. The whole experience was quite okay, and then the ending came and it just killed me completely because it was so like predictable, and it's just like, oh my goodness, I cannot. I was raging so much when I finished the book, and the voice messages I left for Nikki, I mean, poor her, honestly. So this is going there, and I'm hoping that someone will be able to enjoy it quite a bit. And then the last book I would like to put there is called American Baby, which I mentioned in one of my last wrap-ups. And the reason being that, same as Gemma, who lovely sent me this book, she said that she enjoyed this, but she knows she's probably never gonna reread this, and I think that that's same for me. I enjoyed this book very much. I loved reading this, and it was worthwhile with all the information, but I don't think it's something I will read ever again, you know, because it's non-fiction speaking about adoption in America in 60s, so it's very specific, but I think that it can be interesting for someone. So those are my 4 books going through Free Little Library, and now I'm gonna change my clothes and everything, and I will take you with me and we'll see if we can find there something as well. See you! Oh, and I also forgot to tell you, but you know how much I love having little notes if I find them in books, for example, from secondhand bookstore. And that's also what happened with this book, which I found a little note at the beginning, which was sort of like wishing to the birthday for someone. So what I would also like to do now is to write teeny tiny note to each of these 4 books, something like, I don't know, enjoy reading or something like this. And maybe, I'm thinking even maybe leave their like signature, like Teacup the Storyteller or something. so hopefully if someone will find it, then maybe they will even find the book reviews or something. Oh yes, I could do that. So yeah, I'm gonna also write these teeny tiny notes, and then I'm gonna go and I'm taking you with me, so let's do it. I'm way too hyper. Okay, so we are going, and filming outside for me is always scary because I don't like people watching, but there is no one right now. So I'm hoping it will be fine. It's also in the area where there is quite a lot of people with dogs, so we'll see if there's gonna be anyone, but hopefully not. Also gonna leave my books here. Funnily enough, I realized I left American Baby back home because why not, it's me, so I'll come back again. So I did not take any book with me right now because they were mostly sort of like Daniel Steele type of thing, and it's not really my sun. I cannot believe it's sunny like this in Scotland, so I'll turn for you. But yeah, I did not take any other book with me right now because since I did a book haul very recently, I thought that if there is really nothing that captured my interest that much immediately, I'll just leave it for later time. So I'm on the street and there are people, so I'm just gonna say bye. I cannot really see anything on the display, so I'm hoping it's fine, and I will see you with another video very soon. Bye bye, hope you enjoyed this. Bye bye.